True love is unconditional. The God kind of love is unconditional. Some of you may be aware or familiar with the phrases or the Greek words agapao and agape. Agapao is the verb. Agape is the noun, which refers to the God kind of love, okay? It's making a reference to unconditional love. Love is unconditional. While we were yet sinners, while we're not even in a condition to be loved, God loved us anyway. Whether the person smiles or doesn't smile, I'm saying after the fact, you're now married and stuff like that, you love them anyway. Regardless, you love them anyway. Now, some of you might be here and you might say, wait a minute, folks. I keep hearing Christians and people like you talk about how love is unconditional, yet people like you are the first to tell me that if I'm going to marry somebody, I shouldn't marry someone who's not a Christian. Isn't that a contradiction, folks? How can you tell me that love is unconditional, yet you give me conditions on who to marry? Can you explain that? Because I can't reconcile the dichotomy. I can't reconcile the contradiction there. How can you say love is unconditional, and yet you tell me that I can't marry somebody who's not a Christian? Well, that's a very good question. But here's the difference. The choice of who to marry is conditional. After you've made that choice and you've married the person, loving them is unconditional. In other words, we are supposed to unconditionally love those we conditionally chose to marry. Everybody got that? The choice of whom to marry is conditional. Once you've made that choice and you've married that person, loving them is unconditional. And because of the next point, I hope we take this really seriously. To choose conditionally and wisely whom we choose to marry. Because the third thing that love is that love is a sacrifice. Love is a sacrifice. While we were yet sinners, God demonstrated his love toward us by sacrificing himself. When you love someone, you will sacrifice yourself to love them. Some of you may remember me saying something like this when I was a single person. I said, since love is a sacrifice, if I were you, I will find somebody that will cause me to make the least amount of sacrifice and marry them. Everybody thought it was funny at the time. That's what I said. I'm just going to find somebody. Since love is unconditional, I'm supposed to unconditionally love somebody. I'm supposed to just decide to love somebody, which can be tough when the person is acting up and looking at you sideways and not feeling you and stuff like that. Because that's a lot of sacrifice you're making. And I'm going to take my time and marry somebody who's not going to let me make a lot of sacrifice. Now, that's exactly what I did. Thank you, Jesus. I have a very wonderful wife. I have a very wonderful wife that doesn't let me make too many sacrifices.